Welcome to video based IT training. In this video I am going to cover routing information protocol, that is RIP. In my previous video I have discussed about the dynamic routing, how dynamic protocol works. So mainly two type of dynamic routing, one is the IGP and one is the EGP. IGP interior gateway protocol, EGP exterior gateway protocol. So in IGP again have three subcategories, that is the distance vector, link state and hybrid protocol. So the main purpose of dynamic routing protocol is the need of communication between the different routers. First, enable the communication using any of the dynamic routing protocol so that they can exchange informations with each other and how to reach any network and how to find the best path to destination network. So there are a number of routing protocols, distance vector, link state and hybrid. Every protocol has its own way to find the best path from any source to any destination. So before starting how to configure the RIP, let's discuss some basic feature of the RIP. Very first feature, it comes under a distance vector protocol. Second, open protocol means it can be configured on any brand router. That can be Cisco or any other brand, not mandatory that we require only Cisco router to configure the RIP. It can be configured on any brand. Classful protocol does not support VLSM and subnetting. As in the dynamic routing protocol I have discussed with you, dynamic routing protocol keep exchanging their routing table with the neighbors, means keep updating if there is some change in topology. So when this RIP send it information to the neighbor router about any change in the network, some new network come or older network goes out, so it does not send any information about the subnet mask. So it only use default subnet mask, means classful protocol. Default matrix hop count means it only use hop count to choose the best path from any source to any destination. I have discussed about the hop count in my last video, introduction to dynamic routing. So RIP only use hop count, it does not consider any other parameter to choose best path. Maximum hop count 15. So it's only use 15 hop count. If some of the network going beyond the 15th network, that network become reachable, means as soon as become the 16th network, that become unreachable or cannot send the data more than 15 routers from any source to any destination. Update timer 30 seconds. What does it mean? After each 30 seconds, router keep updating its neighbor. It send its data to this router, then after 30 seconds it send its entire routing table to the neighbors. So they keep updating its neighbor after each 30 seconds. Okay, so after each 30 seconds it send its routing table to its neighbor. If there is some change in the information, so neighbor router get updated about it. Hold down timer 180 seconds. What does it mean? In the first update, it router sent that I have 69, 10 and 11 network to its neighbor. Okay, but due to any reason if this network become down, in the next update this router will not send any information about the 11 network to its neighbor. So keep waiting after the 180 seconds. This is the hold down timer, or also known as invalid timer. So after 180 seconds this particular route will be declared as invalid route, and still it keep waiting up to 240 seconds, means that is the flush timer. If neighbor router does not get any information till 240 seconds, then that particular route will be flushed out from the routing table of that neighbor also. Okay, so last point, it support for equal cost path for load balancing, means RIP can use 4 equal cost path, means what is the cost? Hop count. So if the RIP found 4 path of same cost, it will use all the 4 path for the load balancing purpose. So update the neighbor, it use broadcast message, that is 255.255.255.255 and administrative distance 120. So let's configure some basic, do the basic configuration. So we are going to configure RIP routing on this network from very basic. We can check it till it enable show IP route. It have only directly connected network. As soon as we configure the IP and run the no shut command, router start maintaining its routing table. But you can see here it does not have any this router, first router does not have any information about the 13, 12 and 14 network. So for that purpose, so that they can exchange their routing table with the neighbors, routing table must be routing protocol must be configured. So to configure the routing, come to the configuration mode. So to enable the RIP, the basic command is router and RIP. This particular command enable the RIP routing on the router. Then directly connected network, which are the directly connected network, what information this router should propagate on the network and on which network. So as 10.0.0.0 is directly connected with it, and then 11, only 2 is a directly connected network, and same routing should be enabled on all the routers. It should have a same dynamic routing. So conf t, check it also, show IP route. It have 3 directly connected network, that is 10, 12 and 30. So conf network 10.0.0.0 router RIP, then directly connected network 10.0.0.0, network 12 is directly connected and network 13 is directly connected. Okay, so now we can verify show IP route. Yes, we got it. Now this router have information about the 11 network. Center router 11 is collected on this. So when we run the show IP route command on this router, first router, show IP route, you can see here there are 2 network. R stand for RIP. Okay, 12 network and 13 network, administrative distance 120. This is a matrix or hop count. To reach 12 and 13 network from this router, hop count is only 1. So it is indicating that hop count is matrix is 1 via this and via this interface. So we can verify it from the both end. Here also it says that R11 is given by the RIP protocol with administrative distance 120 and hop count 1. So now we can ping from any net to 12 and 13 from here. Just configure the IP of 11 series here, 11.0.0.2, 11.0.0.0. what is the gateway. Configure here also. Here is a 13 network, 13.0.0.2. okay, 13.0.0.2, default gateway 1. Now you can see that we can ping from any source to any destination, any unknown network. This is a 13 network, try to ping it, ping 13.0.0.2. just wait. Yes, successfully we have done it. We have configured the RIP routing and everything. So that is the RIP configuration. The beauty of it, if some of the new network come like this router, still yet we don't configure here any routing, so enable show IP route. It have only two directly connected network. It does not have any information about 11, 10 and 13 network. So as soon as we configure RIP routing here, it automatically start sharing its routing table with the neighbors. So router RIP and directly connected network 12.0.0.0 and network 14. Done. Show IP route. Now you can see here this third router have the information about the 10 network, 11 network and 13 network. So check on the first, show IP route. This router also have the information about the 13 and 14. So this is the dynamic routing. They keep sharing their information with the neighbor router as soon as with the update timer. So as I've told you about update timer is the 30 second, hold down timer is the 180 second and flush out timer is the 240 second. To verify that, show IP protocols. Very good. You can see here update after every 30 second. Next due is the 90 second. Means after each 30 second it keeps sending information. And invalid or hold down timer is the 180 second and flush out timer is the 240 second. So it is about the RIP version 1 that is considered as a class full protocol, but RIP version 2 also considered as a classless protocol, have many other features like VLSM and CIDR support and authentication also. And rather than using broadcast to update the neighbor, it use multicast of 224.0.0.9 to send the periodic update to the neighbors. So we can verify to configure version 2, we just need to run router RIP. By default it take version 1. To configure the version 2, the command is version. First go to the configuration, router RIP and command is version 2 only. So now it is considered as a class less protocol.